The clinical anatomy. The figure 1.1 showing the anatomic terms used in the relation to position. Note that the subjects are standing in the anatomical position. A. The illustration of the median, coronal and horizontal planes. Note that these planes are aligned at 90 degrees to one another. The figure B is the lateral view demonstrating the anatomical planes and directional terms. Note that the horizontal and transverse planes may or may not be equivalent. You can see here in the leg the horizontal and the transverse planes are one and the same, whereas in the foot the horizontal plane is different and the transverse plane is different. See, you can see the superior, inferior, posterior and anterior. In hand, the dorsal surface of the hand and the palmar surface of the hand. The figure C is the anterior view showing the planes of the section and anatomic directions. Planes of sections include the median plane or the mid-sagittal plane and the mid-sagittal plane. You can see the sagittal plane, you can see the proximal end of the upper limb, the lateral border and the distal end of the upper limb, the lateral border, medial border and the dorsal surface of the foot and the plantar surface of the foot. Figure 1.2. Some anatomic terms used in relation to the movement. Note the difference between the flexion of the elbow versus the knee. We can see the flexion and extension of the shoulder joint, the abduction and adduction of the shoulder, and the abduction and the adduction of the hip joint, and the flexion and extension of the elbow joint, the flexion and extension of the knee joint, the circumduction of the shoulder joint, medial rotation of the shoulder joint, lateral rotation of the shoulder joint. See the flexion means the movement in the mid-sagittal plane, that means in the anterior aspect of the body, but it is sometimes occurs in the posterior towards the posterior surface of the body, as in case of the knee joint. Figure 1.3 additional anatomic terms used in relation to the movement. Say supination of the forearm, see pronation of the forearm, the lateral flexion of the trunk, the inversion of the foot, the eversion of the foot, the adduction of the fingers, abduction of the fingers, the flexion of the thumb, extension of the thumb, the adduction of the thumb, abduction of the thumb, opposition of the thumb and little finger. 1.4 telling about general structure of the skin and its relationship to the superficial fascia. Note that hair follicles extend into the deeper parts of the dermis or into the superficial fascia, whereas the sweat glands extend deeply into the superficial fascia. You can see the epidermis and the dermis constitute the skin, and it consists, see, the dermis consists of the sebaceous glands and the hair follicle and the erector pili muscle and the plexus of the arteries and the veins. You can see the superficial fascia and the hair bulb and the body of the eccrine sweat gland, the duct of the eccrine sweat gland. The sweat gland composed of the secretory part and the excretory duct. It is located in the superficial fascia. Other name for the superficial fascia is the subcutaneous tissue. See the erector pili muscle, sebaceous gland, and the hair follicle all together are called piloerector complex, pilosebaceous complex. Figure 1.5 showing the various skin creases on the palmar surface of the hand and the anterior surface of the wrist joint. The relationship of the nail to the other structures of the finger is also shown. The skin creases, nail folds, nail root, nail bed, terminal phalanx. This is the figure 1.6 telling about the section through the middle of the right arm, showing the arrangements of the superficial and deep fascia. Note how deep fascia extensions of the deep fascia extend between the groups of the muscles and form the intermuscular septa, which divide the arm into fascial compartments. So you can see the skin, superficial fascia, deep fascia, and the deep fascia, ulnar nerve, brachial artery, median nerve, and the musculocutaneous nerve, biceps muscle, and the biceps muscle, cephalic vein, brachialis muscle, and the radial nerve, triceps muscle, and the lateral intermuscular septum, medial intermuscular septum. This is the figure 1.7. The extensor retinaculum on the posterior surface of the wrist, holding the underlying tendons of the extensor muscles in position. This is the extensor tendons and their synovial sheaths. Extensor retinaculum, it is nothing but the deep fascia